Big Boss Jock Radio Show, episode 347. 347 episodes. Theme, a protest. I, Big Boss Jock, was tortured, sexually violated over and over in these offices, the Reading Police Department. No type of investigation. Right there on their security cameras. No type of inquiry from their colleagues. Reading Police Department's held to no oversight. Lack of public scrutiny included. Well, on goes the situation. Over 2 years. Same protest. Continues as the issue. Reading Police Department withholds my medical benefits, conceals my identity. One moment recognizes the identity, another, well, they're not aware. Just that fast. Placed me with 2 charges. Them? Nothing, no type of investigation. They're allowed to behave according to the law of U.S. national security, which authorizes the ones with the highest clearance, highest level of U.S. national security, able to invoke at their will, anytime needed. U.S. national security, hush order placed. No one can speak about the event. The operator walks away. All the witnesses threatened with prosecution. Minimum 5 years. Oftentimes forced to be actors. Participate in the operation. Held me a slave for decade after decade. There's an estate involved, an inheritance. As long as they keep me a slave, they get a hold of fortune and assets. They, the USDIA. Good afternoon. Another day doing the same. Out here continuing with the protest. On the steps of the Reading City Hall. Constructed on land that wasn't the city of Reading's to construct on. $250 million facility. The land belongs to the estate. The roadways across the United States, nearly all the land on the interstates, the auxiliary roads, are held by the estate, inherited by the one speaking. Starts with the Transcontinental Railroad, all the land to the sides. Who built the Transcontinental Railroad was interested in the roadways due to made the vehicles. The public is aware of a man named Henry Ford, also of another named Horace Dodge. They were both the same man. Same man had many identities, such as Wilbur Wright, Douglas MacDonald, and a multitude of others. The USDIA holds the assets, an enormous fortune. A big part of the world's worth. It's not just happen chance that happens to be my bloodline. USDIA inserted me in. Were aware, been working on taking over the fortune for years, since the fortune was being accumulated. The 1800s. The man who had many identities known to the public was born in 1831. His name's Zephi Hawkins. Born in Orden, Alabama. That would be my great-grandfather. Great-great-grandfather. He gifted his entire estate to his son Zed Hawkins. Zed gifted the entire estate to his son, Earl Hawkins. Earl Hawkins. Zed was born in 1908. He's known to the public as Walt Disney, along with the identity Clyde Dodge. The racing films from back in the 50s. He's present at the runway. Runway? No, it's the circuit track. They're doing laps. Yeah, that. No, there was some drag racing also history. They burned all the films, the Nazis. The USDIA, Nazis. There were a few Bavarians, well, they're Germans, that were invited. Very few. To join the group. Nazis, as well as the name Nazi, derived at the USDIA. Family named Clark. They invented the story, the symbol. Man named Francis Clark, born in 1888. He's full of frustration, rage. He took the Maltese cross, added lines to it in a certain way that it made a hypnotic symbol. When spun, the spin wheel, and what was done, capture the attention, focus the anger, fury. But what they did was focus hate at the center of the spin wheel. It's part of their ideology. The name for the spin wheel, all described in the history. You people are welcome to read the pages. Soon they'll be up on a website named Got lost on the way. Was that 2 or 3? There are 3 W's. www.bigbossjock.com. Listeners are welcome to open the files and read all about the history, the actual history, factual, not what was presented for the last 50 years, some of it, and much of it, right there at World War II. This is a commemorative day for the United States of America, the dedication, soldiers who stormed the beaches in France. Which beaches were there? Omaha, Normandy, and a few others. Many lives were lost. U.S. Armed Forces played their part. And those who fought in World War II that are around today, year 2019, the Big Boss Jock Radio Show does salute those who braved the beaches mentioned at Omaha, Normandy, and there were a few others. I'll remember those. Yeah, I'll brush up on the history. I don't watch much movies. In the old collection of encyclopedias with actual factual pages, I mean they're real, tangible, and the information was factual, well, they were heisted, taken away. Andrew Carnegie, he's on the page. 1934, Britannica Encyclopedia. Go ahead and match those eyes with computer technology. They can make a match. Henry Ford, Horace Dodge Wilbur, Wright, Jackson Lee, Confederate Army. Begin to learn the actual factual history. That's right. Try not to be too surprised. Leadership has been running a psychological operation, and for many years, that's the leadership of the Yankee Empire. Changed the history to meet the events of the day. And what Yankee is riding on is a false base. It's going to be taken away. They're going to be many flushed underground. 90 million, that's where they'll be found. Is that you, listener? That life's not for me. I want to be locked down underground. Let me out. Oh, hey, how about we don't go in? Time to get out there, Confederates. Kick off the revolution. Liberate the Confederate States of America. The Alamo, placed as the capital. On goes the radio show. Never know. Maybe I'll receive some assistance been describing the issue. Reading Police Department has me in the court. I need to prove competency on the 11th of June in a room where at the Copyright Registry, and that's the U.S. Copyright Registry, over a year and a half ago, I do believe it's closer to 2 years, described, tortured, listeners, straight pin, and this wasn't stated in the document placed with the registry, through my testicles, as well though, into the eyeballs, that was mentioned, along with the sexual violations carried out by the Reading Police Department, allowed to sexually violate, put me in a trance state. I received a chipper when I was 11 months old, stimoceiver, at the cerebral cortex. Can't be turned off. It's against the law to own a jammer. It's also their law system. They put a warrant for my arrest. Arrested me a multitude of times on the same warrant. Was unaware I was ever arrested. On one of the times I was extrajudicially extradited from the country of Peru, they broke my back. And not slightly. From a bridge. Oh, it was way, way up high. Yep, electroshocked another time to the flat line. Defibrillators, multitude of times. Taken to the hospital emergency. I do believe it was 4, if not 5. Clanky are them valves. Good thing he eats a lot of salt. The electrolytes save his life. That's odd. Yeah, keeps beating on. The heart, at the same hospital, doesn't know much about, won't take a full chest scan. That was last week. Only found one aneurysm. Due to I mentioned only one aneurysm. There's 4. The reason I knew there was aneurysms, last year, year 18, put in a trance state, taken to the hospital. Thing is, yeah, one part is for my benefit. They didn't need to sexually violate me and torture so that I wouldn't remember the trip. Could have done it just to be helpful. Kind act, instead of a kind act tied to cruelty. Otherwise, I'd remember, and they'd be responsible. Any doctor is welcome to approach me. Take a look at the bullet wound scars all over. Take a look at the eyes. If they're trained, they'll know. If I go in for an eye exam, why are the scars all over the eyes? What's going on? This is torture. This is cruel. I couldn't understand. Didn't know what they were talking about. Legions. What are legions? Can I get a leave soon? I'm worried. They have me tortured. The doctor oftentimes is an operator. Tortures further. I go into the facility. I don't get treatment. I get abused. The operators, they slip into any room, any uniform. They're allowed to do so. U.S. National Security. They'll be taken over from there. Everyone lies, cooperates. This has been tolerated all my life, not a day or two. I'm 49. It's getting a little difficult. Lead bullet lodged in the backbone. Mercy Hospital in Redding, California, that doesn't merit a chest scan. Nor does heart rate, blood pressure at 222 over 106 for a prolonged time, hours. Nothing lower than 206 over 104. Excuse me, 212 over 104. Hours. They gave me enough drugs to get it down. Said it was time. Go ahead. Leave the hospital then. I was fine. I was pacing. Didn't want to wait. Their pharmacy was closed. They could give me a couple more of those, and that was some pills. Yeah, except for the power went out. For some reason, well, the nurse, she needed all of a sudden when the beeper went off and the power went out, and then suddenly a moment later the phone lines were cut. In between the phone lines being cut and the power going out, she said there was a problem with the IV and she needed to flush it. That's not what caused the machine to beep, 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 though. No, it was the beat, beat, beat. It was going up. Oh, I need to make a phone call. To the psychologist to make the competency test appointment. Well, he could have called it for that afternoon. They tortured me in the same room to the flatline, where he requests, and if I don't show, I will be placed with a warrant for my arrest. He has the right to revoke my OR, own recognizance status. He has the right to choose whatever he deems to. He notified me that he can. When I notified him, my name's birth name, Earl Hawkins. That's what I choose to be called, by my birth name. He let me know if I continued that under his discretion, he has the right to review my competency to stand trial. And that might affect that standing in front of the judge. What's that? And the exact conversation will be there. Everything's recorded, however many different ways, multitude of operators. They know a meal ticket when they see one. Watch what surfaces whenever this story is known. I feel it's unjust. The reason I have to go for the competency test, I won't refuse to say I'm Earl Hawkins with the exact social security number. No one in that courtroom says I'm not Earl Hawkins with that exact social security number. Not one person. I'm a U.S. federal agent since 1988. Recognized as so for 5 months with that knife on my hip on the Reading Police Department's doorstep, Monday through Friday. Similar such protests as what's going on at this moment. Every day. Oh, I'd appreciate some assistance. Vietnam, 1972 to 1975, Chopper Group, Alpha, Bravo, Rodeo Beret. UH-1 Huey. The pilot that the men knew, his name was Hank Tyson. 173rd Airborne, 3rd Group. Yeah, I was a co-pilot, known as the Midget. They pasted a mustache and placed a wig. Risers under the feet, bit of padding in the clothes. Gun in the hand, aviators covering the eyes. Being there in Vietnam. I'd appreciate some assistance. Any of you out there remember how it was being surrounded by the enemy? Hunkered down, them lurking around. I'm trapped. I need some assistance. Calling out around the world. Many know the one speaking with the bullet wounds all over his body. Go ahead, there were scans on the internet and they'll be there soon. www.bigbossjock.com. The scans of my face with the bullet holes. Not everyone has those. That's the face. Their police scanner shows 31 when sent to the secondary scanner. The primary scanner that they have here in Shasta County, not like the one they have in Los Angeles County. Well, they have that. It's the primary hand scan. Five bullet holes. Or is it 7? They did close, though they do show. And the secondary scanner, there in Los Angeles County, arrested at LAX. Them! The Reading Police Department, again and again and again, allowed to arrest me. No one has been of assistance. No one of U.S. law enforcement has stepped in and made an inquiry. No one. I'm calling to the ones listening. I need assistance. Surrounded by the enemy. I'd appreciate some backup. Making that request from Redding, California. Maybe some of those men out there who were tortured by the Kong. They remember how it is being in that environment, even though it wasn't the exact same setting, being locked in a room, and it reminded them of what went on. I'm being awaited to go in the room, again with the Kong, and be tortured, sexually violated. Oh, this is too much. So I do continue, and I do have the belief, along with hope, that the rolled, they'll take note. They'll be of assistance. There will be a group. They're going to get out there and kick off the revolution, bring about a solution. No longer tolerate the belligerent actions. A police force? Well, this is the police state. Standard type of behavior for the coppers, not held accountable. It's time to rise up, confront the U.S. government, liberate the Confederate States of America. The Alamo, placed as the Capitol. Personal request, it does have to do with the overall revolution. Who's placing me in that room is the top of the pyramid. Also placed right here at the Reading Police Department. They're U.S. DIA operators. Multitude of them share the same DNA. It's time there be more than just an investigation. Take action! Make it happen! Get out there! Kick off the revolution! Broadcasting live from the doorsteps of the Reading Police Department. The one only God, He helps me do this line by line. I do give my thanks, along with gratitude, for our Father in heaven, our one only God. It's the Big Boss Jock, signing off.